My name is Heidi Chase, and I am the Executive Director of Friends in Action. I started Friends in Action almost 25 years ago out of the Portsmouth School Department, and it was a small program back then, and we slowly grew. And then in 2012, we became our own nonprofit and left the school department. And so we serve about 150 families. We do a variety of activities that give people with disabilities social and recreational activities to do.
Okay. And what specific programs and activities?
So the programs we offer is we have What's Happening Today is Arts and Games Club, so people can come play card games or they can do art projects, craft projects. We have 2 different theater classes. We have a basketball program. We have Friday night socials. We have a program that's called Wildcat Friends that gives people with disabilities a college experience on the UNH campus. We have a dinner club, a movie club, a bowling club, and then we have about 30 people who volunteer at Echo Thrift Shop.
And what's the age range of the participants?
The age range is 15 and up. There's no cutoff age, and I would say our average participants, the biggest group is between 25 and 40 years old.
Have you had any UNH students at all?
We have lots of UNH students who volunteer every semester. I think we have one in there volunteering right now. But yes, we have, how many do we have this semester? Probably have 10 UNH students volunteering for the semester.
Mm-hmm. How does the nonprofit work? Where do you get your donation from?
Yeah, so we're kind of a typical nonprofit that does a big yearly fundraiser and raises a bunch of money there. And then I do an annual giving letter in the fall that raises money. I get small grants here and there, no state or federal money. And then, just kind of different. It's basically individual donations. People, even if it's a foundation, it's an individual person that knows that foundation. So we do charge for our Wildcat Friends program, so we get some money from that. And then we also make money off of Echo Thrift Shop, so we have some income there as well.
What is the Echo Thrift Shop?
So the Echo Thrift Shop is right in the basement of the church here. It is a typical thrift shop that is actually, technically, it's owned by the church, but Friends in Action pretty much runs it. There are church volunteers the church and community members volunteer in the Echo on Thursday, Friday, but Friends in Action has people in there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And so we kind of run the store and then have our participants volunteer at it. And then the church and I split the proceeds. Yeah, you'll have to check it out before you go.
It's fun to come here to play games. I get to see all my friends that I haven't seen in a while, and it's fun to interact with other people.
And where are you from?
East Kingston. Graduate Exeter High School 2020.
2020. Oh, so you graduated right at the beginning of COVID. That was a hard transition, huh?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Okay, awesome.
I'm Roseanne Seiler, and my daughter Jenna Seiler is 23. And we live in East Kingston, New Hampshire.
And I'm Anita Fusco, and my son is Jake Kolb. He is 28 years old, and we drive from Tuftonboro, New Hampshire.
How far is that far?
About an hour from here, yeah.
Well, when Jenna rolled out of high school, and I think, Anita, your experience is very similar.
Yeah.
They went from having a full day at school where everything was provided for them, activities, classroom, to completely zero, nothing. There was, and
Also threw COVID in there for good mix.
Yes.
Yeah. Good measure.
And so you go from a busy, busy, busy life to sitting on the couch and having nothing. Obviously peers their age went off to college or could get jobs, and all of a sudden they had nothing. Until we stumbled across Friends in Action.
Yeah, it's a very similar theme for many of the families here. Adult programs when they age out of school, which I think is now about 22. optional, but yeah, it's a very familiar story in
How did you guys come across Friends in Action?
I heard about it from a friend, and I don't know how she had heard about it, and so I just started Googling Friends in Action and came across their website. I reached out to Heidi, and we went from there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a lot of word of mouth.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to a lot of people that said they, found them on Facebook or. So there's usually 3 or 4 other parents sitting here. This is a very quiet day. So,
Yeah. All connections made, I think, through just community.
yeah. Anne Marie, who's usually here, I'm pointing to her chair. It's her spot. She would love this. So we were at the Sonatina Center in Dover, and they were doing Friends in Action. So
And are you guys here a lot? Like, how often are you here?
I'd probably come here 4 out of the 5 days a week now. But we also traveled to Portsmouth for basketball and bowling.
yeah,
Jenna's part of the thrift store downstairs. She volunteers there, and she does the theater here with the
Right.
Wildcat Friends. So it isn't just Friends in Action, it's also the Wildcat Friends, which is awesome.
do you know Wildcat Friends?
No, I haven't heard of it until today.
Oh, okay, but now you know what.
No, I know.
Yeah,
Not a lot
right.
about it. But
Yeah.
what kind of is that?
The Wildcat Friends is they do a theater production, which they'll put on a little play after they're done, and then they congregate here, and then they walk over to the UNH campus, and they have food in the cafeteria, and then they go on and participate in like a class. It's like a gym or an art or something in the classrooms on campus, and they also have college peers that help volunteer and help them out, and so they feel part of the big group. It's amazing. They love it.
What day is that
These
on?
kids- It's Wednesdays, and it runs from 1 to about 7 o'clock that night. It's a full day. It's a full
Wow.
afternoon.
So do they do dinner with them then, or?
No, they do
end
lunch
right before
around.
that
They do
night,
a
lunch.
and I think it's because that's more free time in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
They're not so, it's not so congested. But
Right.
yeah, kids love it. I would say that's probably a favorite amongst many.
Yeah.
If they can
Starts at
participate.
1.
Yeah,
I'll have to think about that.
yeah.
Been sitting on the fence about it for a while.
And Jenna, with the thrift store downstairs, has a college student also that has been helping or volunteering with her for 2 years in the thrift store. And I think it's a way for Maria, and I think it's a way for Maria to get experience in her background, as well as, looks good on her resume. But it's
Right.
been a huge thing for Jenna. Like, she gets excited to come see Maria every Wednesday.
Yeah, real friendship.
Yeah. They've just sort of, the minute
Is
I
that who
leave,
did the fashion show with her?
yep, we did the fashion show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was so cute.
So they're quiet until I leave, and then I can hear them laughing and giggling and talking,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's
Yeah,
perfect. That is so perfect, because that's
Yeah.
that's happening in Maria's life every day with her friends on campus, but that's not happening in Jenna's life every day, and
Right.
it's a very lonely world for kids with
Yeah.
disabilities, young
Yeah.
adults.
Yeah, that's one of those things where they go from high school and a lot of friends around them, a lot of people around them. But the friendships aren't really established. So when they leave school, everybody else moves on except for them. So even for my son, he had a stepbrother that graduated with him, so they were the same age, which brought a lot of kids into his life. People at our house and that sort of thing. But still, once high school is over, it's all
Right, you're
you're on your own. Yeah, yeah. So
Friends in Action brings lots of smiles and opportunities.
So Friends in Action was created to fight the isolation that many people with developmental disabilities experience. And so we started actually with a group of parents coming together and talking about what was needed, and from there it grew. I think if you talk to a lot of parents, they'll say the program has just made a huge difference. Their child, who would be very isolated and not being able to get together with friends, now has activities and places to go and people to meet and friends. And so it does make a huge difference. We have about 150 families who participate regularly in programs. So
And would you say like those families are from the Durham area or like from
they're
all
from
around?
50 different towns.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Some people come as far as Moulton Borough, Raymond, Exeter, Epping. 50 towns. If I do my spreadsheet, I think the last time it was about 51 towns. And then we have a couple of people who come from Mass, and then some people who come from Maine as well. So people are driving pretty far. I'm driving.
How often do you guys meet?
Well, all those programs I mentioned, a lot of them meet every week. So we have almost, if you go to the website and look on our calendar, you'll see we have a program almost every day of the week, if not every day of the week. We also do a couple of Zoom programs. So for people who, we started that during the pandemic, and obviously we're all Zoom at that time, and then a couple of our more popular programs we kept going. So we do have a few Zoom programs a week. And the biggest challenges, obviously, for nonprofits is always raising enough money every year. So that's always a work in progress. We've been very fortunate, and even through the pandemic, we were able to raise the money we needed. And we also did and all that kind of stuff. I would say the biggest challenge, but we've kept ahead of it, is staffing, having enough staff. And we're incredibly fortunate that we have this collaborative with this church here because we have space to do our programs. Space and paying for space can be a huge problem. We're very lucky to have this space. They can donate right on our